we haven't fought. Imagine that. They gotta lie.
Sit your ass down.
They gotta lie. They gotta lie all the time. They can't even believe their own lie.
Down, bro.
You can't even believe your own lie.
I want to be the best. So when I see certain guys out there, and I seen Tio his last fight, I was there front row, and I'm like, damn, this dude is like, he like a baby Roy. Like he like doing things with his hands down, flashy.
Too much of it. You know, I think that he believes in himself. That's one thing. But I'm here to destroy his dreams and all that he wants to do and become. You can't take this from me. I worked very hard.
At the press conference, Teófimo Lopez didn't just talk, he issued a warning. A brutal one. Staring straight ahead, Lopez made it clear that when he steps into the ring with Shakur Stevenson, there will be no mercy. Labeled the underdog once again, Lopez embraced it. Keep underestimating me, he implied, and pay the price. He reminded everyone that he's been counted out before, and every time, it's ended in shock and silence. Lopez accused critics of trying to protect Shakur, calling it a protection program designed to shield him from real danger. But Lopez says protection won't matter when the bell rings. Focused. Confident. Dangerous. Teófimo Lopez vowed a dominant performance, promising to showcase his skill, power, IQ, and killer instinct. His message was clear: this fight isn't about hype, it's about proving who really belongs at the top. When the night is over, Lopez says there will be no excuses, no debates, and no doubts, only his hand raised.
Yeah. I'm gonna beat him up. I'm gonna beat him up.
And we know at one point you contemplated retirement. Seems like you're in a good place now. You're active. Where are you at right now? Where are you feeling about your career?
Mentally, I'm in the Bahamas somewhere, having a...
Teófimo Lopez made one thing crystal clear: he's not giving up his belt. Not now. Not ever. This isn't just a title to him. It's the product of years of sacrifice, pain, and relentless grind. Lopez spoke from a place of pride, explaining that everything he has was earned the hard way, through blood, discipline, and unwavering commitment. Every early morning, every setback, every moment of doubt led him to this position, and he refuses to let anyone take it from him. For Teófimo, this fight is personal. It's about protecting what he built with his own hands. He believes in himself completely and is fully locked in, ready to defend his place in the ring. His message to Shakur Stevenson was simple and powerful. You don't take what I earned. You try, and you pay for it.
They kept asking that protection program
money
for
talk,
a long
walk, money.
Aoya breaks down the Shakur Stevenson vs. Teófimo Lopez matchup as a high-level chess match, predicting the fight is likely to go the full 12 rounds. According to him, the first 6 rounds will be critical in determining how the fight unfolds. He expects Shakur to start cautiously, fighting off the back foot and taking time to read Lopez's timing, rhythm, and reactions rather than coming out aggressively. If Teófimo can dominate, or at least convincingly win, the early rounds, it could force Shakur to adjust his approach in the second half of the fight, turning it into a far more competitive battle. Lopez is described as a frontrunner, a fighter who thrives on early momentum, energy, and explosiveness. Aoya raises the key question: can Teófimo sustain that intensity for all 12 rounds? If Shakur senses he's dropped some early rounds, he'll be forced to open up late, setting the stage for a tense finish and potentially razor-close championship rounds. On the other hand, if Lopez loses the opening rounds, Shakur's discipline and control could allow him to cruise to a comfortable unanimous decision. In the end, Aoya sees this fight as a battle of timing, energy management, and round-by-round execution, where one small shift in momentum could decide everything.
Being in the ring,
Yes.
Shakur Stevenson, obviously you guys are both in Las Vegas. I'm hearing that you did link up today. A face-off happened between the two of you?
Yeah, face-off happened, things of that nature, just to create the things that are in motion already. So we're really adamant about fighting each other next, and I can't wait for us to really lace it up. And I see him across the ring, and really when that bell rings, lights out for him.
What's it like seeing him now kind of face to face? When you look at him, what do you see? Because obviously you're not locked in just yet, and the closer it gets to a fight, obviously things turn a little bit. But when you do look at Shakur, what do you think of him?
I think I don't think too much of it. You know, I think that he believes in himself. That's one thing. But I'm here to destroy his dreams and all that he wants to do and become. You can't take this from me. I worked very hard for it. I've bled for this. You know, and I'm not taking nothing from him. But I just believe that what's gonna happen next is for us.
Shakur Stevenson says his motivation comes from a deep, relentless competitive fire, a need to chase the toughest challenges the sport has to offer. After watching Teófimo Lopez's recent performances, Stevenson was struck by Lopez's confidence and flashy style, saying it reminded him of a young Roy Jones Jr. That resemblance sparked something in him, a desire to test himself against that level of skill and swagger. Stevenson views this fight as a major measuring stick, an opportunity to see exactly where he stands against an elite opponent while adjusting to a completely different set of strategies and threats. He understands this won't be a routine fight. It's a true evaluation of his evolution. Reflecting on his bout with William Zepeda, Stevenson admits it was unconventional and physically demanding, but ultimately invaluable. The fight forced him to deal with constant pressure and adversity, proving he could remain composed and effective even when pushed to uncomfortable limits. That experience taught him an important lesson: pressure fighters are designed to test him, but they don't break him. Now, heading into the Lopez matchup, Stevenson feels fully prepared to handle the speed, power, and unpredictability that come with a high-level opponent. With sharper focus, greater adaptability, and hard-earned experience, he believes he can navigate the fight intelligently, turning it into a complete test of his skills, mental toughness, and readiness to compete at the very top of the sport.
That Shakur is going to come out and try to fight or take the fight to Teo in the first 6 rounds at all. So if he's fighting off the back foot, if Teo can make it so that he's convincingly, or he's convinced at least Shakur that he may have won 4 of the first 6 rounds, you know, if it's 4-2 in Shakur's mind going into the second half of the fight, or if I'm looking at him stealing those first 6 rounds, then it's an interesting fight going into the tail end, because Teo, to me, is a front runner, right? I want to see if he can carry his energy and his explosiveness late in the fight and not wear down. And then when Shakur starts to open up, you know, can you steal some of those championship rounds from him and make it like a close fight? I think if Teo comes out and does what he usually does, which is try to swarm Shakur early and keep Shakur on the defensive early, then he can try to steal a lot of those early rounds. And if he does that, then Shakur has to fight in the tail end of that fight. Now to make it real interesting. If I'm looking at the first 3 rounds, first 4 rounds, and Teo looks like he's losing those rounds convincingly, then it's an easy night for Shakur, unanimous decision in my opinion. You know what I mean? Because I don't think Teo is going to bring anything late in the game, you know what I mean, to this fight. I think if he is who he's always been, you know, he's going to get gassed after like the 7th round and then take some rounds off. And when he does that, Shakur will open up and start to try to pick him apart, pot shot him, and do things like that. But this is the perfect fight, narrative-wise, for Shakur, because I've been waiting for Shakur to get into that fight where, you know, he doesn't have the fight where he doesn't have his Diego Corrales fight, you know what I mean, where you think he's actually in danger. Shakur has been he's been outclassing everybody he's in the ring with, you know what I mean. Then the guys that you think could give him some work, like De Los Santos, I know people hate when I bring that fight up, but I want to see.
Chris Algieri weighed in on the significance of the Shakur Stevenson versus Teófimo Lopez matchup, calling it a fight the sport desperately needs. He emphasized the importance of elite fighters facing one another, taking real risks, even when a loss is possible, because greatness isn't erased by setbacks. Fighters, he noted, can still remain elite after defeat. Algieri believes this fight perfectly represents that philosophy. It's not a reckless brawl filled with non-stop punches, but a high-level clash of skill, timing, and strategy. The technical brilliance on display, he says, will keep fans locked in, proving that quality boxing can be just as gripping as chaos. He added that a victory for Shakur Stevenson would firmly place him among the top 5 to 7 pound-for-pound fighters in the world, even though many already believe he belongs there. Algieri framed the bout as a throwback matchup, reminiscent of legendary encounters where the best fighters in a division challenged each other at their peak. The drama, intelligence, and historical weight of fights like this, he explained, are what make boxing special, showing that elite-level boxing is still as thrilling, meaningful, and necessary as ever.
about you that has you, looking at a fighter that you know is the truth and then saying, I want to fight him? It seems like it should be normal if you're a fighter, right? But that stuff is dying off in the game right now. And I feel like you one of the last of the dying breed that actually want real challenges.
Yeah, I'm competitive, bro. So it's like, I want to be the best. So when I see certain guys out there, and I seen Teo his last fight, I was there front row, and I'm like, damn, this dude is like, he like a baby Roy. Like, he like doing things with his hands down, flashy. And I thought it was cool. So it kind of made me want to get in a ring with him and see if he could do them things against my style.
Your last fight was against William Zepeda in July, and you fought a totally different way. It wasn't the easiest way or the best way to fight, but I think it was good for you and your development because it not only sent a message to the rest of the division, one up, your division at that time, and then the one above you, but it sent a message to the fans. But I think it also did something for you to prove to yourself that, man, listen, that wasn't like my best performance, but I showed you I can get it out the mud. What did that performance kind of do for you now that you look back at it?
Honestly, I think like styles wise, I think that Zepeda's style is the style that's supposed to give me the most trouble. Like, guys that box and give me time to think is the guys that's gonna have a fit with me all night. But the guys who press me and put me against some ropes and throw a million punches, that's the style that's supposed to give me trouble. So I went out there and I prevailed against that style, and now I'm fighting against a boxer, which for me, it just makes it more fun. I don't have to deal with a guy that's trying to like...
Bruce Carrington breaks down Teófimo Lopez's upcoming clash with Shakur Stevenson by pointing to a critical vulnerability in Lopez's game: difficulty handling constant movement and shifting angles. Despite Lopez's elite athleticism and explosive power, Carrington believes those strengths can be neutralized against a fighter who controls space with discipline and intelligence. According to Carrington, Stevenson's composure, footwork, and tactical awareness could force Lopez into overcommitting, swinging big, missing often, and burning energy early. By managing distance and dictating the pace, Shakur can make Lopez fight on his terms rather than allowing Teofimo to impose his aggressive style. While Lopez thrives in explosive bursts and high-intensity exchanges, Carrington warns that relying too heavily on raw power can backfire against a patient, mobile opponent. Stevenson's defensive IQ, ability to reset after combinations, and comfort fighting at range could frustrate Lopez round after round, gradually limiting his effectiveness as the fight wears on. That said, Carrington makes it clear this is not a one-sided matchup. In his view, it's a true 50-50 fight, determined by which version of each fighter shows up on fight night. If Teófimo Lopez appears the way he did against Vasily Lomachenko, focused, disciplined, and fully locked in, Carrington believes he can win the fight. In the end, the analysis paints a clear picture: this bout will be decided by footwork, timing, patience, and ring awareness. Athleticism alone won't be enough. Adaptation will be everything. That's it for today's breakdown. Stay tuned. Until next time.
Of boxing on this side of the world. Listen, there's nothing like the Garden. We've both fought there many times. I fought in the big room. There's nothing like the Garden. Just the vibe, like you said, champ, that's around that. And this fight is deserving to be here. It's that good of a fight. It's that big a fight, and especially like I said, like the health of American boxing. This is one of the best fights that can be made. And putting it in the Garden just makes too much sense.
But the idea of the turmoil, the eyes on it, the spectacle, the circus. Chris, you talked about the idea that Teofimo Lopez kind of lives in this. That's where he flourishes. That's what he loves. This idea that because there's so many eyeballs on it, it's going to be kind of a circus. Does that favor Teofimo a little bit when you look at the strategy? Yes, no?
I'm going to say well, I can't say for certain because there's no certain with Teofimo Lopez. He's one of the most up, down, left, right guys I've ever been around.
Mercurial, we could say. Yes.
But when he is on, he's damn near unbeatable. I mean, he's such a good athlete. He has such a good boxing IQ. He's so physical and explosive. And again, I've said this on past shows. I've called him many times for Top Rank, been around fight weeks. And it just seems to me, the more out of sorts he seems, the more back against the wall, it looks like, the more that he's an underdog, the better he performs. And this could be that kind of situation. New York is a tough place, man. They're already gibbering, going back and forth, saying like, you know, he reps Brooklyn, but there's kind of questions about his Brooklyn roots. Can he really rep Brooklyn in the way that he says he can? So he's already getting that heat for that. I don't know. It might be a good thing to kind of to poke the bear in terms of how well Teofimo is going to show up.
Paulies, that's a huge. You're from Brooklyn. That's a big insult to say that you're not really from Brooklyn.
Insult him a little bit.
Insult him a little bit. Insult him, man.
But I'll tell you what. I don't. There's so many thoughts in my head with this situation because Teofimo is at his most dangerous when he's counted out, and this is going to be